In Lucifer's first season, the show's namesake, the devil, appears after abandoning his throne in hell 5 years earlier to live on Earth, where he now operates a Los Angeles nightclub called Lux with his devoted demon ally, Mazikeen. When his human friend Delilah is killed, he persuades an LAPD After the LAPD's detective Chloe Decker lets him help solve Delilah's murder and avenge her, Lucifer finds he enjoys Chloe's company and the fulfillment of aiding others, so he joins the LAPD as an official civilian consultant to team up with her on new cases. Yet despite his usual irresistible charm, she remains strangely unaffected by his supernatural allure. When he insists he's the actual devil and thus immortal, she dismisses the absurd claim, but when he demands she shoot him to prove it, the bullet unexpectedly wounds him, leaving him in agony, baffled. He realizes her presence makes him vulnerable while stirring unfamiliar human emotions that intrigue. While Lucifer starts therapy with Dr. Linda Martin, Chloe, divorced from fellow detective Dan Espinoza, with whom she has a daughter, faces isolation at the LAPD for being the sole detective convinced their late com's friend, Detective Malcolm Graham, was corrupt and killed in a suspicious gang meeting. As Chloe bonds more with her new partner Lucifer, Dan tries harder to stay involved in Chloe's and Trixie's lives, and the couple reconciles while Trixie spends more time around Lucifer and his club Lux, even befriending the demon maze. Meanwhile, Lucifer's older brother Amenadiel arrives on Earth under their father's orders to bring the devil back to rule hell. But when Lucifer refuses, Amenadiel poses as a therapist to get close to Linda, hoping to use her to persuade Lucifer to return. After swiping Lucifer's angel wings, a sacred gift from their father, a doll uses them to manipulate Lucifer into remembering his true nature and divine home. But Lucifer reclaims the stolen wings only to burn them in front of his brother, declaring his refusal to leave Earth. He then returns Malcolm's soul from hell, reviving the corrupt detective and ordering him to kill Lucifer as a way to force the devil's return to hell in exchange for his restored life. And while plotting Lucifer's murder, Malcolm rejoins the LAPD, gets paired with Dan, who had long ignored Malcolm's corruption, threatens to expose Dan unless he cooperates, and when Malcolm finally faces Lucifer to kill him, the encounter fills him with an unmatched intensity that drives him to keep pursuing good deeds to relive that moment. But instead of fighting, Lucifer gives the corrupt detective a Pentecostal coin, barring him from ever returning to hell. So Malcolm abandons Aile's mission and starts worshipping Lucifer, then begins slaughtering innocents and Satanists as offerings to his new master. Horrified, Lucifer disowns him and vows to turn Malcolm's life into torment, prompting Malcolm to frame Lucifer for the murders and escape. But after realizing his mistakes out of love for his brother, Aile tracks him down, only for Malcolm to stab him fatally with one of them. Maze discovers the wounded animal and cures it with a feather she recovered from Lucifer's ruined angel wings. While later in the season, a frantic Malcolm abducts Trixie for ransom. But as Lucifer and Chloe move to save her, Malcolm fires at Lucifer, hitting him near Chloe so the shot becomes deadly. As Lucifer nears death, he begs God to shield Chloe and Trixie from Malcolm if he lets him resume ruling hell. And when God agrees and restores him, the devil keeps Malcolm busy while Chloe fatally shoots him. Lucifer admits he reclaimed the Pentecostal coin, ensuring the crooked detective faces eternal torment in hell after Malcolm's defeat, just as Dan exposes Malcolm's long corruption, absolving Lucifer of all blame. When Amityville approaches and the devil discloses that before returning to hell, their father ordered him to hunt down a rogue soul, the only one he fears, his escaped mother, who appears in Lucifer Season 2 inside the murdered lawyer Charlotte's body, having once ruled the universe alongside God as his wife. Jealous of her husband's devotion to his new human creations, she unleashed floods and plagues on the world in revenge, forcing God to exile the goddess to hell, where Lucifer had long resented his mother for abandoning him after his own banishment, until she revealed that God had originally planned to erase him for rebelling, but spared his life at her, urging by exiling him instead. Though Lucifer, though accepting this, still blames her and condemns her to live on Earth as Charlotte among the humans she despises, while he befriends the new humans in his life. LAPD forensic scientist Ella Lopez, unaware that Lucifer and his sister Azrael had saved her from a fatal childhood car crash, had been unknowingly guided to become Lucifer's new ally, as Azrael, unable to stay in their lives, wanted her favorite human Chloe and her favorite brother Lucifer to watch over each other. While Chloe and Dan, now divorced detective partners, struggled to co-parent Trixie Sibley before reopening their case. A past investigation revealed that John Decker, a brave police detective and Chloe's father, was murdered by order of corrupt prison warden Perry Smith for attempting to dismantle the Russian mafia and a Chinese triad. But Charlotte, acting as Perry's defense lawyer, helped him escape conviction, so a vengeful Dan later partners with Maze to hand Perry over to the Russians to be killed elsewhere. While amid this, a middle notices his angelic powers fading on Earth, just like Lucifer's, believing it to be divine punishment, and fears Lucifer's treatment of their mother, forcing Uriel, Emil's brother, lands on Earth to kill Charlotte using their sister Azrael's Blade of Death, the only weapon capable of permanently destroying an angel, prompting Lucifer, Amidal, and May to battle him. After Lucifer reluctantly slays Uriel in defense of Charlotte, he is overwhelmed with grief and later reveals his true devilish form to Linda during therapy, shocking her further when she learns her friend Maze is also a demon. So she severs ties with both, leaving Maze heartbroken and newly curious about human emotions, which drives her to become a bounty hunter. While Linda eventually reconciles with Lucifer and Maze after realizing angels and while Lucifer's entire family could reunite in heaven, he prefers staying on Earth, where he believes he's valued and has a greater purpose, though his true motives remain uncertain, especially regarding Chloe. Though he initially schemes to kill her a doll, he later realizes God sent him 35 years ago to bless Chloe's parents and ensure her birth, making Adal suspect their love was predestined. Yet when Lucifer and Chloe finally act on their feelings and kiss, he withdraws upon learning her origins, fearing her love isn't freely given, while the goddess's urge to return to heaven grows more urgent as Charlotte's body weakens, risking her death. Azrael's Blade of Death, one of 3 parts needed to forge the flaming sword, the sacred weapon that once protected Eden and is the only force capable of cutting through the gates of heaven, can only be ignited by Lucifer, the Lightbringer, yet he learns the flames demand extreme emotion, so Linda helps him move beyond his usual anger and bitterness to fuel it with his pain, while Lucifer secretly plots to reunite his parents in heaven as petty revenge, and Animal aids him in gathering the sword's final components. Amadil wears a necklace from his father, convincing him he is now God's favored son. But when Lucifer refuses to help finish the sword or provoke a war between their parents, Amadil turns on him again, this time pulling away from Chloe, his frustrated partner, who insists he's grown too much to backslide. Abandoning his plan to force their parents into battle, Lucifer instead completes the flaming sword, uses it to tear open the universe so the goddess can leave to rule her own new world, and reconciles with her before she departs. As the rift closes, he hurls the blade after her, and the goddess, originally Charlotte, returns to her body with no memory of events, leaving In Season 3, Lucifer tries to show Chloe his real devil form and admit his love but fails, only to be drugged by an unknown attacker, wake up disoriented in the desert, and discover his angel wings mysteriously restored, so he cuts them off, though they regrow while searching for clues about who abducted and abandoned him. Lucifer struggles to prove Crim Lord Seaman's existence to Chloe, or link him to a recent series of brutal murders, but instead finds an ally in Chloe and Dan's new LAPD boss, Marcus Pierce, who reveals Seaman killed his brother, only for Pierce to get shot while secretly hunting the killer with Lucifer, though he later fully recovers. Charlotte understands that her past decisions condemned her to hell, but after a goddess took over her body, she was motivated to improve her life, seeking Ella's guidance to become a better person, taking a job as a criminal prosecutor to help Lucifer imprison criminals, and while working closely with Lucifer and his LAPD allies, she grows close to Dan, only to face an existential crisis and fear of death when Linda's ex-husband dies. Maze grows frustrated as a new romance sparks her jealousy, still raw from her past fling with the Minid, pushing her into an emotional tailspin. While May, overwhelmed by her human struggles, begs Lucifer to send her back to hell, only for him to refuse. Meanwhile, Amenil becomes convinced Earth is God's test for him, and that his ultimate role is to eventually stand by his brother Lucifer, just as the crime man reveals himself as real, leading Lucifer and May to capture him, which leaves Chloe feeling betrayed when Lucifer tortures the villain for his motives instead of arresting him. Until Pierce arrives and fatally shoots. Pierce faces doubts but discovers that Scentman actually worked for him, and he reveals that he is not human, he is Cain, the biblical first son of Adam and Eve, cursed with immortality for killing his brother Abel, and now exhausted by his endless life, he has long sought death. After learning Lucifer is on Earth and vulnerable near Chloe, Pierce arranged recent events to die in her presence, but failed. So Lucifer agrees to help him end his immortality by resurrecting Abel, hoping this will lift the curse and let Cain finally be killed. Pierce's plan also fails as his frustration with his cursed mark grows, leading him to theorize that Lucifer's weakness around Chloe stems from their love, so he starts dating her, hoping she'll fall for him and break the curse. While competing with Lucifer for her affection, he gains backing from Maze, who resents the devil for Pierce's deal with Maze allows her to kill him once he becomes mortal, and blame Lucifer, who would then banish Bish back to hell as she wants. While as Pierce and Chloe grow closer, Chloe prepares to confess her love, but Cain stops her, flees in guilt over manipulating her feelings, and decides removing his mark isn't worth hurting her, just before Lucifer finds Chloe heartbroken and attacks Pierce, revealing during the fight that the mark is already gone. Pierce finally understands that his curse was broken by his truly selfless act of love for Chloe, and he no longer wishes to die, but instead wants to spend his life with her, so he proposes. To Lucifer's dismay, however, Chloe soon hesitates about their rushed engagement and cancels the wedding. When Lucifer and the other two finally confess their love and kiss passionately, Pierce rages at losing Chloe and decides he wants his immortality restored, so he and Ma scheme to kill Einel, hoping that removing another of God's favored sons will return his mark. But when Ma tries to drug Einel to bring him to Pierce, the angel's unwavering kindness makes her release her resentment, forgive her ex, and rebuild her friend. Furious after discovering Maze's betrayal, Pierce tracks down an amulet, then ambushes the angel during his meeting with Charlotte, firing at him, only for Charlotte to shield the angel with her body, mortally wounded. The grief-stricken angel regrows his wings and carries the now-redeemed Charlotte to heaven. As the season ends with Lucifer tracks down and kills Pierce, but instead of the peaceful death the former immortal wanted, he is condemned to eternal torment in hell for his sins, just as Chloe arrives to find Lucifer in his true devilish form, confirming he had been honest about his identity all along. Angel, who claims to have fallen in love with her, initially joins Chloe in planning to send Lucifer back to hell, but she pulls out due to mixed feelings, and so does Kinley, leaving him to act alone by staging murders to reveal Lucifer as the devil, yet Lucifer avoids the trap, while Chloe instead exposes the priest's crimes, gets him arrested and excommunicated after confronting Kinley in prison, where she learns of a prophecy that Lucifer and his first true love will bring evil to earth. Dan finds comfort in his friendship with Ella, who has lost her faith in God, while he also seeks therapy from Linda to cope with his heartbreak over Charlotte's death. Meanwhile, Linda discovers she is pregnant with Amenadiel's baby, and Maze moves in with them, growing closer to Linda and becoming protective of the unborn child. Then Lucifer's angel sibling, Remiel, arrives on Earth before the birth, intending to take the half-angel child to raise in heaven. But Amenadiel resists, insisting humans are as worthy as angels, and that his child should grow up on Earth. After Linda gives birth to a son she names Charlie in honor of Charlotte, Amenadiel's faith in after descending from heaven to Earth, Weave reconnects with her former lover Lucifer, while he continues his work, but she grows especially jealous of his bond with Chloe, realizing their unique connection weakens Lucifer's defenses, pushing him toward his darker impulses, which she actively encourages, making him more violent with criminals. This corruption turns his angel wings into demonic ones, marking the start of his full transformation. So Lucifer turns to therapist Linda for help and tries to reclaim the goodness Chloe once saw in him. But when Chloe warns him of Kinley's prophecy, Lucifer finally ends things to force Lucifer back to hell so they can be together forever, yet Dromos betrays her instead. Despite her guilt over plotting to kidnap newborn Charlie and raise him as Hell's new king, Eve ends up helping Lucifer and Chloe, while Amadil and Maze attempt a rescue as demons overrun them, forcing Lucifer to unleash his full demonic form, command all demons, including Dromos, back to hell. Afterward, Amadil stays on Earth to raise his son with Linda. Ella regains her faith in God. Eve leaves to rediscover herself. Chloe fully accepts Lucifer as he is. They confess their love and share a Reluctantly, Lucifer leaves a devastated Chloe to return to hell, where his reign as king will keep evil demons from overrunning Earth in Season 5. Though, while only 2 months pass on Earth, thousands of years elapse in hell, where he resumes torturing new souls upon arrival. With Amadil now in control of their personal torment, endless loops forcing them to relive their worst earthly moments, Lux grows anxious while filling in for his missing brother, especially as his and Linda's son Charlie suffers a simple human cold, making him fear the child's mortality. Meanwhile, Chloe and May bond over their shared grief for Lucifer, just as his jealous twin Michael reaches Earth to impersonate him and seize his life. Though Lucifer's closest friends stand ready, May, Amidal, and Chloe know him too well to fall for the act, so Michael changes tactics. He tries to turn Lucifer's closest allies against him by telling Chloe she was a divine gift meant for Lucifer, leaving her stunned, and by threatening Charlie's life if Amidal refuses, forcing Amidal to rush to hell to warn Lucifer and beg him to return, which Lucifer does, reuniting with Chloe only to find her still under Michael's influence. Though overjoyed to reunite with her growing love, Revelation, who calls Chloe God's gift to Lucifer, she steps back from their relationship just as Lucifer, slashing Michael's face with a demon blade to stop his twin from ever impersonating him again, urges Chloe to quickly sort her feelings and choose him. But Dan helps Lucifer learn patience and give her space, while Einel teaches Chloe that her real divine gift is resisting Lucifer's charms, meaning any feelings she has are truly hers. Chloe understands that Lucifer's emotional openness with her makes him physically vulnerable, so they reunite romantically, while Michael helps Mazikeen uncover that Lucifer hid how Lilith gave up her immortality decades ago to live on Earth, leading Mazikeen to visit her now elderly, dying mother who refuses to reconcile over her lifelong resentment at being created without a soul. All after learning Lucifer is actually the devil, Dan believes he can save humanity by shooting him. But Lucifer survives unharmed, having raised his defenses again now that he has Chloe and fears losing her. When Michael then kidnaps Chloe, Dan is forced, despite his reluctance, to team up with the devil he knows to get her back. As Lou rescues Chloe and his ex-wife, Dan notices the devil's genuine concern for her and realizes Satan may not be as evil as humans believe, just as everyone celebrates Chloe's safety. But Amadil accidentally freezes time for all humans when his angelic powers return due to his fear over his son's apparent human vulnerability. And that's when Michael shows up with Maze at his side after promising her a soul for her loyalty, leading Lucifer and Aminadil to join forces against them in a brutal fight until God intervenes, annoyed by his children's conflict. And though he tries to force reconciliation, he banishes Michael when they refuse, then chooses. God admits there's still hope for her to earn a soul, but confesses he's losing control of his powers and wishes to retire. Lucifer then urges Adel to replace him, but when Adel refuses, Lucifer reluctantly takes the role himself, hoping to prove he deserves to be with Chloe in heaven, only for Michael to begin assembling his own angel army to challenge Lucifer, while Adel learns Michael had sabotaged God's powers to force his retirement. Though God reveals he had planned this all along and proceeds with retiring as intended, framing it as a gift. Before God leaves the new universe the goddess made for herself, he tells Lucifer he's proud of the man Lucifer has become, while Lucifer, working as Dan, helps a case for Chloe. Meanwhile, Michael arranges Dan's murder, then offers Lucifer a return to hell with Chloe as his damned bride, her soul lost to guilt over Dan's death. And as everyone mourns, Lucifer, crushed to learn the detective's past guilt doomed him, grows more determined to defeat Michael, become the new god, and fix the broken system that punishes good people like Dan. To seize heaven, Michael reclaims the flaming sword from the goddess's universe, killing his sister Remiel when she attempts to stop him, sparking the final battle where Lucifer, Chloe, Amital, Ma, and even a returned Eve join forces to face Michael and his angel followers. As Lucifer duels Michael, Chloe destroys the sword but dies in the act. And with her last breath, she forgives herself for Dan's death before her soul ascends to heaven. Grief-stricken, Lucifer defies his banishment to storm heaven and rescue her, a deadly risk. But there he's aided by Lee Garner, a man he once helped escape a hellish cycle to earn redemption. Severs Michael's wings but spares his life, offering him a second chance on Earth as the season closes. In Season 6, Lucifer assumes his role as Heaven's new ruler with Chloe as his advisor, while the angels bow to him, and meanwhile, their friends plan their own futures. May, now in a relationship with Eve and set to return to Hell as its new ruler, realizes as her departure from Earth nears that she has found happiness there with her human friends and new love, so she decides to stay. Aminal chooses to stay on Earth to marry Eve and raise his son with Linda while joining the LAPD, where Detective Carol Corbett, another new recruit, becomes romantically involved with Ella, who finally uncovers the truth about Lucifer being the devil and all the celestial secrets her new friends had hidden from her, only to also discover that the apocalypse is imminent, a fact even her angel allies didn't yet know, as God's absent children have been recklessly granting prayers and causing widespread chaos, while Dan, now in Hell, is approached by an angel seeking to kill Lucifer in exchange for returning Dan to Earth. Lucifer and Ghostface Aurora, called Rory, the grown daughter of Lucifer and Chloe, who has come from the future, where Lucifer vanished before her birth and Chloe later died of old age, leaving Rory to fuel her grief into time-traveling power so she could return to the present and kill her father for abandoning her. Lucifer insists he would never leave her by choice and suspects his future death explains his absence, so he starts probing his possible murder while attempting to connect with Rory to prevent the coming apocalypse. Lucifer learns from Linda's book about their therapy that his emotional strength lets him control his vulnerability and regain his angel wings, just as Maze's happiness on Earth finally gave her a soul, while Rory also benefits from the book. Lucifer deeply loves his mother Chloe and must also love his daughter, helping Rory finally make peace with her father, so he seems to have everything required to take God's place, but ultimately realizes he doesn't want to rule heaven, preferring to stay on Earth with his family. Then, on the day of his strange disappearance, he chooses to spend what might be his last hours bonding with his daughter and tearfully saying goodbye to his friend. He establishes a science foundation in Ella's name to support women pursuing careers like hers, admits to Maze she's always been his best friend, and apologizes for prioritizing himself over her, helps Dan's ghost briefly possess his escaped killer Lamech to say goodbye to his daughter Trixie, then guides Dan's spirit to a peaceful afterlife in heaven before speaking to Ideal. Amadel, his favorite brother, declares his intent to replace Lucifer as the new god as the series ends, freeing Lucifer to reunite with Chloe. But the now liberated Lamech kidnaps Rory after Lucifer and Chloe rescue their daughter by killing Lamech. The dying murderer reveals Dan safely reached heaven, prompting Rory to realize her father's true mission is redeeming Hell's lost souls so they may enter heaven in peace. So she makes Lucifer vow to embrace his destiny as Redeemer, before he and Chloe share a tearful farewell as he descends to Hell to save the damned. While Ameniel and Linda raise Charlie, who grows angel wings to his father's joy, Ella runs her new foundation with Mino brings her to Hell to reunite with her lost love Lucifer, who still works to redeem Hell's souls by acting as their therapist, proving that if even the devil can change,